Oh!
What's up, guys? Hope you all enjoyed that little bit there. I was contemplating on doing the whole review like that, in that sort of style, that imitation of the environment for A Quiet Place. But spoilers for my thoughts on this movie, I kind of liked it too much to be able to do something like that, and I just wanted to give it a real and proper review that I think it really deserves. So with that said, here we go. So A Quiet Place Part 2. This is once again directed by John Krasinski. It's the sequel to the first movie, simply called A Quiet Place, which I remember liking quite a bit. I haven't actually seen it since it first came out in the theater, so that was roughly 3 years ago now. But from what my memory serves, I did really enjoy that movie, and I was looking forward to this movie. I'm going to keep this spoiler-free for those of you who haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen the first one yet. But I would highly recommend that you do go see this in a theater. I mean, if you want to go watch it on HBO Max, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I can't force you not to. But I really would recommend it in a theater, because I think this is really the best way to experience this movie. And I know everyone's saying that nowadays about movies, like, you gotta go to the theater. Everyone's going back to the theater, but I really genuinely believe that that is the best way to experience a movie like this. The movie picks up pretty much where the first one left off. It doesn't start out exactly that way. The opening scene is kind of a different thing. But basically, we go back to the present time, and it's just the aftermath of the way that the first one ended, and we get to see what happens after that. Now, there are a lot of different ways I could start the actual review for this, lots of different things I could talk about, but I think I'll just start with the cast, because universally it is great. Everyone is giving it their all. To me, the two standouts though are Cillian Murphy and Millicent Simmonds. I would say Cillian Murphy mainly just because he is a new addition to this franchise and a very welcomed character, and he fits in perfectly with the universe, in addition to just giving a fantastic performance. And Millicent Simmonds, because she really gets a lot more to do in this movie, and she is basically the lead character. She really is, and I love the bond that was created between these two characters, and it's a developing relationship. You know, they don't really get along that well initially, but by the end you really do see how strongly linked they are, and I just thought it was a great aspect of the movie. And on a technical standpoint, this movie is top-notch as well with regards to the cinematography and the CGI. From what I can remember, I think we do get more monsters in this movie, and they have improved the CGI. It looks a little bit more refined and crisp. Not that it looked bad before, but I just think that it's clearly improved in this one. I think by now a lot of people have heard about the opening scene to this movie, whether or not you have seen it. And I'm not going to say too much because, like I said, I don't want to do spoilers, but I'll just say that it's awesome. It's amazing how they were able to accomplish this kind of filmmaking, and it never ceases to blow me away. This kind of construction, this kind of filming, is just always makes me giddy. It always excites me just because it's so cool how people can do this kind of thing. As far as I'm concerned, the scares in this movie are all earned. There's nothing cheap, nothing cheesy, nothing silly. It is all earned and all scary. And this movie also does one of my favorite tactics that a horror movie can ever do, and that's having this really terrible and tragic thing happen in the midst of these bright, shiny colors, a nice day, nice weather. I just love that kind of irony, having the contrast between something terrible and something really nice, just those two things clashing. I've always just found that contrast to be really powerful and effective. With how much Megan and Emmett get to do in this movie, who are portrayed by Millicent Simmonds and Cillian Murphy, like I mentioned earlier, with how much they get to do, the other two main characters do kind of take a back seat to the action. Evelyn and Marcus, portrayed by Emily Blunt and Noah Jupe, and they're both great in the movie. I'm not gonna say anything to down-talk their performances because they're great, but they definitely do take a back seat to the action, like I said. And specifically with Noah Jupe's character, his character in this movie reminds me a lot of this character from a movie I recently watched on Netflix called Stowaway. To quickly sum up what I'm talking about, Toni Collette in the movie breaks her arm very early on, and she really isn't able to do anything at all. She's almost kind of a useless character. And with regards to Marcus in this movie, I almost felt that way. He wasn't completely useless, but he definitely isn't doing as much as the other characters in this movie. And so that was a little bit disappointing to me. But like I said, performances, acting, it's still very good. To sum up my thoughts on A Quiet Place Part 2, I thought it was a fantastic movie. The scares were extremely effective. It was extremely well made, well acted. Michael Bay is actually one of the producers on this thing, which is very surprising to me. I wouldn't have expected to like it this much with him involved in a project, but I guess he didn't direct it, so it would make sense why I enjoyed it this much. I think this is an improvement on the first installment, and I'm gonna give A Quiet Place Part 2 an A. Such a great theater experience, and like I said, if you haven't seen this yet, I would highly recommend seeing it in a theater if you haven't already gone to go see it or watched it on your TV. But if you have seen it, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Do you prefer this or the first one? How do you think the third one will turn out? I've heard they are making a third one, but John Krasinski won't be involved in it as a writer or director. So personally, I'm not too looking forward to it at the moment, but who knows, it could turn out really good. But let me guys know all your thoughts about that in the comments, and that's pretty much all I got for this video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.